Welcome, foolish mortals, to another live stream. So, I know this is getting early in the morning, but I'm now kind of having Fridays off. So, I'm trying to get these done, um, sometime where most of the rest of the planet can see it. I know that in the end, um, people in America will have to watch it in a rerun. It's 7 o'clock Pacific time, it's 10 o'clock um, on the East Coast at the moment. So, kind of just winging it for a few weeks and seeing what we get. Um, Today, we're going to talk about Book of Boba Fett, if anybody comes on, and all the stuff I picked up on my way to see my dad in Kansas City. Hey, Blue, what's up? Mark, I did leave a link in the Twitter feed, in our Twitter feed, if you wanted to pop on. I know you were there's a auction today at some point. Rolando, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you, man. So, like I said, we're going to start with some of the stuff I picked up while I was out and about. I did find some things. If you've been watching all week, I've done kind of broke my toy hunts down into about 4 parts. Excuse me, because as I was going across Kansas, I stopped here and there, mostly at Walmarts. In fact, to Denver, the closest Target into Kansas is actually Salina, Kansas, which is about 400 miles away or so. So it's mostly Walmarts. But we did find a few things, so we'll get into that in a sec. Hey, Tim, what's up? All right, no worries. If you want to pop on, you can pop on later. I'll probably be here for about an hour or so, maybe a little longer, just depending on what everybody wants to talk about. So let's start with what I picked up on my trip to Kansas City. So I got a nice big stack over here. Now, some of these are going to be in order. I kind of piled them weird. So first thing I got was a whole bunch of new pops, because, that's what I do, even though I would really like to stop collecting them. They keep making ones that I want. So, that's kind of how it works. So first up, I got June the Swan from Gatchaman. Over here, of course, it was Battle of the Planets. Let's see. I don't see the others, so we'll just work on these as I grab them. This is Wayne from a great Canadian series called Letterkenny. If you guys haven't caught any of Letterkenny, go to YouTube, put in Letterkenny, and just watch the opening of episode 1, and you'll be hooked. I am about a season behind in it, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on at the moment. But great show. And Wayne's best friend is Daryl. And his sister is Katie. She's an unnecessarily pretty girl, and very funny on the show. And then their friend, Squirrely Dan. So those are the Letterkennys. Now, while I was in, where was it? Colby, Kansas, they literally had a pallet of Despicable Me pops and an entire pallet of Britney Spears. I posted pictures of those. So I did pick them up because in the end they rang up for $2. So I got Roller Skater Stew. And this is from the Rise of Gru. I don't think this movie is out yet. I don't know. It's so hard to follow what's on streaming and what isn't. Kung Fu Kevin. Hey, Fabulous, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Pajama Bob. So apparently he's no longer king. Sadness. Pet Rock Otto. $1970s Bob. He's got a little cape and a lollipop. And then last of the series is actually Young Gru. So there were 6 of them. So I got 6 of them for the same price as I would have paid for one. So that's not, too bad. At one of the Targets, I picked up a mini puff. This is Zapped. Oh, so he's been playing with the battery ends. That's a Target exclusive. From the Cartoon Network, this is Chicken from Cow and Chicken. And that show was so weird. It still watches it and you're like, who approved this show? But of course, to go with chicken, you have to have cow. I found Stupid Sexy Flanders from The Simpsons. And for people in America, I don't know if they have these overseas, a moon pie. Moon pies are, of course, delicious. Also at Walmart, I picked up a bat, Cobra bat. Of course, these just started hitting from the Hasbro line themselves. So, and then here is Joe the Condor from Gatchaman. And Ken the Eagle. I really wish they would have done the other 2. Why would you only do 3? I mean, that's true. I forgot over there they're called wagon wheels. And here is that Britney Spears. I don't know which one it is. It's just Britney Spears. I don't know what costume that's supposed to be. But she was $2. So I picked her up. It was cheap. Okay, let me get some of these out of my way. The stores were kind of picked over. They have no die-cast either. It's crazy the amount of die-cast that sold this Christmas and isn't being restocked. It's almost as bad as figures, really. But some die-cast they got back in were some of the green light ones, and my No Mark will like this one. I did not see a second one. The A-Team van. This is a 1983 GMC Vendora. Then there is a Terminator vehicle. This is a Crown Vic? No, Dodge Morocco police vehicle from the Terminator. And then this is a 1969 Ford Mustang Boss from John Wick. And then last is the 1976 Ford Gran Torino from Starsky and Hutch. So this wave of Hollywood, Greenlight Hollywoods are actually pretty cool. So, hey, Jonathan, good to see you, man. What is up? Then I did find some Star Wars while I was out and about. Not nearly as much as I hoped, but, more than I could have, actually dreamed. So I got another Armorer from the Carbonized series. So actually, it was only $11. I don't know why it was marked 18. Cool. From BC. I did pick up another Moff Gideon just because for $5, why not? And if I want to open one, I have one to open. Hoth Rebel Trooper. So I got 2 of the new wave. Or I would assume is the new wave. It's got Bib Fortuna and the Mithril guy in it. And I still need both of those. And then I did run into the entire wave except for Darth Revan of the Archives line. So I bought the 501st Trooper to go with my other, whatever that wave's called. And then I found Jake the Snake Roberts. This apparently is the chase. He's wearing gray pants. Comes with a snake, a cobra, and a bag to put it in, a couple extra hands. I've seen this entire wave now. I think I might buy Cowboy Bob Orton, just because I'm starting to buy some of the classics. I like the look of the package. I'm not sure where. Yeah, and you can see right here I've started collecting them. I like the way they look, except that some of them have legend on them and some of them don't, and I don't like that the packaging's different. But you know, what are you gonna do? Also at Target, I found one of the new Batman 66 figures, the Riddler. I wish they would have done him in his suit. You know. Oh yeah, that car is classic. I love in fact, I just watched 2 episodes of the show last night because it reminded me of it so much. Yeah, they're great cars and they're cheap. You know, they're $5. You know, they're not so bad. Yeah, like I said, I didn't see the Revan. I did see. It seems to be that Princess Leia is going to be the peg warmer out of that set, from what I saw. So, hey, Brightest Day, what is up, sir? How you doing? Cheap Force. Well, since I was picking this up, I noticed that they started marking down the normal ones. Now, at the place I was at, they marked these down to $8.99. So I picked up the Joker and a Robin, just in case. They didn't have another Batman, or I probably would have picked that up. But just in case I'm going to open one someday, if I find the Bat Cave marked down super cheap, then you know we might go ahead and do that. The last stuff I've got is when I dropped my dad off back in our hometown, they have gotten an Ollie's. In America, Ollie's is a markdown store, kind of like Big Lots or McFrugal's used to be, that kind of thing. And they had just been open, so they haven't really gotten a lot. They say that the shipping stuff has really killed them in getting these new stores open. The bad part is this store is 7.5 hours away from me. Now, they are opening one in Hays, Kansas, which is only 5 hours away from me. So, you know, if I go there for some reason, I'll check into it. But they did have a few things I picked up. First of all, a Danger Mouse. And this is Zipline Danger Mouse. This is the only one of the Danger Mouse figures I didn't get. They never came over here really. The Toys R Us had them for a very limited time. And this is the only one I didn't get of that set. So very happy to get that. I know, he's the greatest. He's amazing. I also picked up this very upset Kira. I didn't even know they did Mighty Mugs for Solo. But she has her 3 different heads. There you go. She's happy now. Let's see, put that here. I found this 2-pack of Rey and Kylo from Rise of Skywalker, which is as close as you got to Rise of Skywalker figures. I picked up a book because they have tons of book. This is a Pendergrass novel. I read the series, but Preston Child, love it. I don't even know what book this is. I didn't recognize it, so I'm further behind than I thought. And then I picked up this cool game, IDW game for Planet of the Apes. I'm a sucker for anything classic Planet of the Apes. Looks like a cool game. Doubt I will ever open it, simply because I don't have anybody to play with. But I thought it was pretty cool, so I had to have it. overall, I thought Ollie's was pretty cool. Um, it definitely is a better place for food and things like that. More closeout books, lots of books. It reminded me kind of like a Five Below, but um, with better stuff. So when I'm back in town, I will definitely go back over there, just because it'll be another place to go in town. Whoops, I have to go up there. The last thing I picked up was some more soda pops. So I picked up 2 of the Snow Miser and one of this Mickey Mouse, Vampire Mickey Mouse. So I'll go ahead and open these. I'll do that. I'm going to put a link here. And if anybody would like to join me here, we're going to start talking about Book of Boba Fett very shortly. So this is the Vampire Mickey Mouse. No, I don't think I got the chase. Still very cool. Actually, kind of like that little guy. Let's see. Nope, no chase. One of 12,500. Still, you can go sit up on the collection. I need to rework my collection. I have a ton of these out now that I need to get set up. First up, Snow Miser. And this is from the Rankin and Bass show. Is it The Year Without Santa Claus? I don't know. Eventually they got their own special too. His brother is, of course, the Heat Miser. There we go. And of course, just like all pop sodas, they do have a chase, but I don't know what the chase is. So, oh, cool. He's even got he's got the icicles on his nose. That's funny. Hey, what's up? Nope. One of 8,400. And last, before we get on to Boba Fett. Oh, this might be. I found sometimes that if it's completely sealed, it's a chase. It'd be nice. I do sometimes buy 2 and get a chase. Nope. He is not a chase. So I'm not going to open him. So if I want to trade him to someone, they can have the fun of opening him, even though they'll already know it's not a chase. So overall, not a bad trip. Unfortunately, my dad's now back in the hospital, this time in Wichita. But I can't go down there right now. I'm probably not going to be able to get down there till March now because of work, as usual. So now let's move on to today's main topic. The Book of Boba Fett, Episode 5. Now, you guys know that I am a huge proponent of Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. I love the show so far. Structurally, I think it could be done differently. I really think it should have started with a black screen and him turning on his light or whatever inside the Sarlacc pit, and then moved forward instead of doing these flashbacks. You could have just ended with him coming out of a bacta tank and saying he's okay. Apart from that, I have really enjoyed the show. I have enjoyed the past much better than I've enjoyed the present. The present Boba Fett story, it's all right, but I preferred the stuff with the Tusken Raiders. I didn't read the Aftermath novels, so I didn't know that I knew that he'd gotten out, but I didn't know that he'd spent time with the Tuskens, like 5 years with the Tuskens. And they'd kind of formed a completely new life where he wasn't the bounty hunter Boba Fett that we knew. he has become part of a tribe, part of a group, part of a family. And that was all taken away from him, and that's where you have him falling back, but not completely back. He's not as vicious. People want him to be Tony Soprano, and he's not Tony Soprano. You know, he's more like the character from Analyze This, where he is still a bad guy, but does he really want to be anymore? And he's questioning that, and he's trying to find his way. So, see, that's the kind of stuff I like to hear, Kurt. That's what I want. So up till now, it's been a slow burn through the first 4 episodes, getting up to speed. Episode 5 was unnecessary, boring, and was a giant, because we assume most of you haven't watched the Clone Wars, here's what happened during the Clone Wars episode. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't a good episode of The Mandalorian. It definitely was a good episode of The Mandalorian. I loved the Terminator 2 type flashbacks to Mandalore. I liked the little droid, the BD droid. It was nice to see all those. All the little touches here and there. The dark saber, okay. We assumed that the armor wasn't dead because we didn't see a body. And in Star Wars, if you don't see a body, you have to assume that they're not dead, like the Emperor. But I really just found it just pulled the entire show to a halt. There was no movement in the Book of Boba Fett story, in the past or the present. It was just an extra episode because they needed filler. And who better to fill things with than Mr. Sidequest Din Djarin. He is always going on side quests for something. So the episode starts on a ring world, which is very cool. I like the look of that. That was very neat. I do think it was moving a little quick. The day-night would drive you crazy if you lived on that planet. You could physically see the light moving behind him and caught up with him before he even got anywhere. So I think that was a little iffy. The rest of it, I really loved the look of it. The design was cool. It allowed them to use sets from last season pretty well. And, you know, he goes into what looks like a meat locker, modern day meat locker with a couple little things thrown in, which that's fine. That's how you save money on shows. Plus, why wouldn't a meat locker look pretty much exactly the same there as it would here? It's, you know, yeah. I think a Solak Pit escape with symbiotic rebirth. True. Kind of the same way Solo changed into a selfless character after being released from Carbonite. That's a very good point. You know, we're not sure what you feel when you're in Carbonite. Does your mind still work? Is it kind of like a induced coma? And I think a Solak Pit was kind of that way for him. It was giving him a second chance. The whole, he didn't remember that he had his armor on, and people got pissed at that. And it's like, well, he did just get out of a very traumatic experience covered in acid, and the Jawas came and took his gear, and he was pretty much unconscious as far as I remember. And then the Sand People came and kept hitting him in the head. But so he goes into this thing, and everybody's like, "Ah, wonderful fight." No, it's the same fight we've been seeing. The costume of the Mandalorian is very. You can't do good, huge fight sequences with it. You're never going to get a Jackie Chan style fight. You're always going to have him being kind of clunky. Now, this time was cool because he had the dark saber, and it's interesting that he was allowed to take that. Did they just, after Luke left the ship, did they all just like, and we're out, and go their separate ways? We might not know that. So, and I also like that for once, somebody didn't know how to use a lightsaber properly and cut themselves. Because when you're playing with your lightsaber and you're spinning it around and all that, you hit yourself a lot. Well, that's why they start training kids at 2 and 3, because they want you to get muscle memory and not hit yourself. If you watch the behind the scenes stuff between Obi-Wan and Anakin on episode 3, you'll see that even though it was all choreographed and they did it over and over and over and over, every once in a while they would hit the wrong spot. So I actually really liked that. I like that you got to see the damage it would do. And, he goes through and takes those guys out pretty easily, as we always knew he was going to do. Honestly, knowing the history of the Mandalorians, if I saw a Mandalorian walk in, or even somebody in their armor, I would not help my boss, because obviously my boss is dead. So, everybody's like, oh, it's so, he cut that guy in half and stuff. Yeah, he cut a guy in half in the first episode of the show, of The Mandalorian, his show. So that was not unlike him. I did like that he wandered around with a head, and people were just like, okay. That lady in the elevator was pretty funny. The best thing would have been if she would have took a step to the right, just a little, or if he would have turned and said, good evening or something like that. I am not for, forcing humor into Star Wars. There are little bits and pieces I always think about dropping in, just because, it's funny and it works. So then we get sent to a party. So he goes up to a party, very rude, with a head, and sits it on the table and is like, here you go, I want my info now. And she's like, no, have supper with us, it'd be great. He's like, no, really, I gotta go. I have this gushing leg wound here that I should probably get looked at. And she's like, oh, come on, sit down. And if you don't sit down, I'm not going to tell you. He said, well, then I'm just going to go take this somewhere else. So, of course, she acquisition, and then he goes down looking for markings that are on the wall that tell you how to get to the Mandalorian hideout. Now, they seem to be only in a frequency that only they can see. So it's not that bad. And then we get down there and we find out that the Armorer and Vizsla are still alive. They're the only ones that are still alive. So, oof. There's always space in the ghost traps for you. So, it's whatever. No body, no death. I'm fine with that. But then he doesn't even really fill them in on everything. The Armorer doesn't even look at him, and then suddenly she knows that the dark saber is there, and it's like, well, turn around and talk to him. Quit being, all aloof. And and then we get a previously on the Clone Wars bit, and that the whole sacking of Mandalore, that was very cool. It was very T2, very neat. I could see where Death Watch got pushed into a cult now, which obviously it is. I didn't think Din was going to walk in and say, hey, by the way, Bo-Katan says I don't have to wear my helmet all the time. What's up with that? They're obviously a cult. None of that can be seen anymore. And then after she's done trying to train him with the Darksaber, which is very much like a Rebels episode, he finds that it's heavy because he's not working with the blade, he's trying to work against the blade. And that comes into how lightsabers are built and how you become one with the crystal, and the crystal, helps energize. That's why you get the colors you get. As you do more and more evil and you put more and more hate into a crystal, it turns it red no matter what color it was before. So that's why you get Ahsoka's that changes color and goes to lighter and lighter and lighter until it's almost white now. So anyway, then Vizsla decides that, after Din's been, practicing and is wiped out, he's going to be the big man and come up and fight him one-on-one. Well, for what? It's the big question mark. So he wants the dark saber, okay? No. We're told there are only 3 out of that whole clan left. The Mandalorian, the Armorer, and Viz. And no, that's been retconned. There are synthetic crystals, but now they'd say that as you pour your hate into the crystals, that's why they become red. I don't know. I don't remember when that was retconned. Not too long ago. I did. I watched the whole thing, start to finish, all the way through season 7. I need to finish Rebels. I think I've watched all of it, but I'm not absolutely sure. And I haven't watched any of Resistance except the premiere episode because I found it boring. So I do need to watch that completely. Hey, Joey, what's up? How you doing, man? Oh, no, Taz. Everybody, keep Taz in your thoughts. Pneumonia is not fun. Hopefully they're taking care of you, Taz. If they recommend you going to the hospital, go. Because I got what was called walking pneumonia about 20 years ago. And I did not go to the hospital when they said I should have. And now I have permanent damage to my lungs that when it gets really cold, I have horrible coughing fits. So much so that I have to stop, at my car, whatever I'm doing. And so pneumonia is nothing to mess with, dude. So I will definitely keep you in my thoughts. In fact, I'll have my mom add you to the church prayer list this afternoon. So good thoughts coming your way, man. Well, it wasn't as much of a retcon as they just kind of erased the EU stuff of that. It's just one of those things. So, hey, Geek Strong, how you doing? So where was I? Anyway, so they talk about the Siege of Mandalore, and that imagery was beautiful. I mean, it was. If you just turn the cartoonness up a little bit, it could have been from an episode of the Clone Wars. It was amazing, just amazing. And like I said, it's not that I didn't like the episode as a Star Wars, which I'll explain in a minute, but because the Mandalore episodes of Bo and whenever the Dark Side Lids, that's true. But who are you leading? I got that. Bo-Katan wants it because she had it before she lost it and all that. But who's Vizsla going to lead? The other 2 of them? They don't have a planet anymore. And she just got done saying that only having the sword isn't what makes you a leader, and that it shouldn't fall into the hands of people who couldn't have it. So, she literally just got done telling you, the story of Bo-Katan and how things went wrong and the Empire destroyed everything, and now he's going to try and weasel in. Everybody passing on. Good thoughts. Best wishes, Stansman. Yeah. Everybody definitely wants you to get better, man. So, hey, Michael Jeebus, what is up? That Vince McMahon picture always cracks me up. Yes. Well, yes and no. She was she broke away from um, once she got the out in Rebels. It has a slightly different connotation. In the Clone Wars, she was a terrorist, and she was part of the Death Watch and all that. In the Rebels, she's more of somebody who's trying to take back Mandalore from these warlords and from the Empire, and then eventually Darth Maul takes over. You know, Boba Fett's got his own problems. You know, well, you know, and I'll get to all that here in a sec, as far as thoughts on overall. So then he goes back to Tatooine, which, you know, is the center of the universe now. I mean, look at the luxury yachts and stuff. Excuse me. So it's interesting that he goes back there, and then they partake in what I call the Great Lego Build, where they find where she has a Naboo starfighter, all in parts, all over the place, and then they spend the next like 10 minutes of the show rebuilding it. Now, it was cool that, you know, they had the little BD droid. He's the same type of droid that was in the Fallen Empire game, I guess. It's not the same droid, but it is the same type of droid. Also, it was kind of cool to see the little wheeler droid with the tall, skinny body. My mind is not working. Needle, something like that. She is one of the best parts of The Mandalorian. She is hilarious. She delivers her lines perfectly. But it's, you know, it just, so of course, you know, she took out the droid port. Okay, that's great, because that's obviously where Grogu is going to sit. All this stuff was telegraphed so horribly. And then, you know, he goes through Beggar's Canyon, he goes through the pod race stuff. That was very cool. It was great to see stuff from episode 1 again. Yeah, or you could call it character growth. So, you know, there is about a 10-year gap between the Clone Wars and Rebels. So we don't actually know. We could run into Bo-Katan again in Bad Batch season 2 or 3, and she could be showing character growth. That's the problem of having these shows that are, you know, the Book of Boba Fett is great because it's present day, and so is The Mandalorian. But then you have, you know, the Bad Batch, which is a prequel, and it could affect stuff going forward. It's weird. More than likely. I don't particularly care. The Jedi and that are secondary to this show. I really don't care about them at all. You're obviously going to have Luke, because Mr. Side Quest is going on a side quest. Now, do we get to see that side quest? Or are we actually going to go back to the show we're watching? Because I don't want to spend half the show with Boba Fett trying to get Bosk and IG-88 and Dengar and those guys back together, and then half the show be Din Djarin going to talk to his little pet. That's what I don't want. That I can see that next season. So, well, he couldn't anyway. He doesn't have any rights to it. He doesn't have the Darksaber to start with, and he doesn't have the lineage because he doesn't have his house was destroyed. So, I do have a lot of piles of junk at the moment. I believe the word you're looking for is plethora. I have a plethora of things. Yes, we do, because his leg isn't blown off. So we know it's not the same droid. I mean, not everything needs to be connected. There are other droids. Now, the Treadwell droid, which was the name I was trying to think of, that could have been the one from... because they're very fuzzy, which is interesting. So could and I don't think it is. Could we see a Jawa without his robe? I don't want to. Mystery is mystery. Mystery is mystery for a reason. I don't need to see it, but I don't think it is. It's just nice to see the droid there. Just like, why don't we see more Millennium Falcons? It's not like it's the only one of those Corellian freighters. We should see more of them all over the place. It's easy to get parts for stuff like that. It's, man, I hope it's not. Philly Yum Yum pitched Freddy Numb's Space Bananas, so Freddy shoved a pepperoni. Oh my goodness. Wow. There's some monkey shenanigans going on at Bob's house. Yes, but we're positive that he didn't ever return to Tatooine. So we don't know whose it was. Just because we know that what happened to him after the end of episode 1, we know that he didn't return to Tatooine until episode 2. At least at the moment we do. Yeah, and her talking Jawa is hilarious. It was, it was very funny. I saw that. I didn't know what was going on. Thanos was right, though, by the way, just so everybody knows. That would be awesome. Yeah, you got to keep those kids under. Oh, of course he does. He loves jiggly bits. And there's a possibility. Maybe, wasn't... Now you're going to have to correct me because I didn't play the game. How far in the past is that game? There it goes again. That was weird. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, when does that game take place? Because with the sequel coming out, maybe he ends up on Tatooine and leaves his droid there. So I don't know. Yeah, it's there's I don't know. Well, some of them are, but they wouldn't have made one Millennium Falcon and then stopped. That's not how the Corellian shipyards work. We already saw them in Solo, and they put everything together on an assembly line, so they wouldn't have made a one-off. And then how'd Lando get it? And then within a week, of Lando getting it, or however long it was, Solo's destroyed the thing, and turned it into a heap of junk that it is. But Thanos knew what he was doing. Hey, JT, how you doing? Okay, so it's the in-between time again. Okay, because I wasn't sure when that Padawan was set. I need to play the game. I'm not good at jumping games, though. I would look like Bob trying to play, one of his jumping games. So maybe the second game takes place, and he brings him closer to the beginning of the rebellion, I would suppose. Well, it's highly modified because they basically blew it up at the end of Solo, but it's only really lost its escape pod and some minor stuff on top. Other than that, you have to think that what we saw in Solo was the pristine version of that ship. Like maybe that was when it rolled off the assembly line. It's hard to tell. Yes. Yeah, we did get a lot of snow. We were only supposed to get a dusting yesterday, and I think we got another 3 inches. So we've got about 6 or 7 inches in the past week, which is nice. We could really use the moisture, honestly. It's been real dry down here in the basin. So Anyway, so then he goes up into space to fly, which probably would have been nice to check seals and stuff like that before you go into space, but whatever. And then he runs into the guy from the convenience store show and Luke Skywalker's stunt double, which that's fine. But really, how big are these patrol areas that they have these people on? Because Din runs into this guy a lot. And why is he trying to hide himself from the convenience store dude? I can't remember either the character or the actor's name. But it's not like they went on different terms or anything. He was standing there talking to Cara Dern about becoming a member of the rebellion or the Republic. So it's not like they didn't know that he's a good guy. I mean, I guess that he, wants to hide his anonymity again. That's fine. No, and your water. We'll take your water too. Ask Nebraska. But I don't know. Just if a cop drives up on a car and it has no license plates, and then you ask for ID and the driver has no ID or anything like that, you just don't let him get away. And I get that we all went all fast and furious, and hit our NOS, and there we go, boom. It's a cool ship. It will allow Hasbro to repackage the Naboo Starfighter with very limited attachments and put it out. As you can see, if you haven't, on eBay, it is nuts. Those Naboo fighters are going for upwards of like $200 a piece. Really absolutely crazy, the prices you're getting for those now. I can remember trying to give those away at KB for $10 a piece, and we had a hard time doing it. Now I wish I would have bought a pallet of them, because I could be making some good buck on that. So overall, as far as I'm concerned, this is not an episode of the Book of Boba Fett. This was more like, if you guys, and especially people who are in England, if you guys watch Doctor Who, just about every year they do a special at Christmas, which is loosely tied to whatever happened that season, sometimes not. But this was a Christmas episode of The Mandalorian. This didn't have anything to do with the Book of Boba Fett, except at the very end when Finn comes in and she's like, "Hey, you want to work for Boba Fett?" And Mr. Sidequest is all like, "Yes, I'll help. You don't need to pay me. I need to repay him for his kindness and blah, blah, blah. But first, I have a side quest I need to go on." Just go. Grogu's not going anywhere. Just go help. I don't know. But yeah, exactly. It doesn't have any storage space. It's, it's yuck. Hey, block user, take that. I feel pretty good. If I didn't get rid of that bot, can somebody grab that for me and kill it? I haven't had a bot in a little while. That's nice. I feel special now. Yeah, they're going from about 100 to about 215 a piece. And if you look at sales, they're selling for that, for right around 100, 150 bucks. It's crazy. It's great to get more prequel stuff in, because that's the stuff we should be seeing. We should be seeing some prequel stuff in trash heaps and things like that. I'm surprised she doesn't have a random battle droid head laying around there somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying, why aren't there more prequel series, Black Series figures? And not just another Darth Maul and another Qui-Gon and another. I still don't have an episode 1 Padme. I don't have, Nute Gunray. I don't have a Naboo fighter pilot, you know. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Yeah, bring that baby out and put it on eBay. Fund yourself at least one, maybe, of your final 17. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you could fit 4 or 5 heads in that where the R2 units used to go, so you could just dump them in there. That'd be great. Did I not? Okay, let me hang on a second. Oof. Okay, Oof is now a moderator. Go get him. Sick him. Exactly. Where's Watto? I would love to see Watto. I mean, by now he's really old. I don't want to see him old, even older and more decrepit, because this will have been a big jump since we saw him in episode 2. And, you know, there isn't a rest home for Nabooian or whatever his name, whatever they are. Huh, I did not know that. Hey, Kat, what's up? How you doing? I may have made a mistake. Sleeping. Good to see you, man. I assume you're at work. If not, you're going out and searching under the dirty shelves of toy stores everywhere. Well, and there's no Boss Noss, and there's no Captain, her captain of her guard, and you know we don't have. There's so many episode 1 figures that they could do. But that's Hasbro in general. Everything seems to be at the moment, they only want to do original trilogy stuff as if they're afraid of the prequels and the sequels. You could make some good sequel characters still and people would buy them. You know, just put them 1 or so to a case. Yes, it is nice and sunny here, so we'll have a nice melt off today. That would kind of be cool. I think maybe. I don't remember. I you know. Well, you're not going to get them here. Sorry, bud. I'm pretty sure all of us here are subbed. If you're not subbed to Sleeping, then I don't know why you're over here talking to me. Go over to a winner. Go to Sleeping. Get him to 4,000. Make sure you tell all your friends. Come on. Less said about that. Yeah, Panaka, that's it. And, you know, even one of her handmaidens, or, I mean, I don't know. Everybody Sleeping is having a special thing on Saturday for that new, for his new sponsor, which is, I can't remember, so I need to pull it up. Let that thing go. NBC. Where'd that go? Oh, Drip. Drip is a new sponsor, and they do live auctions and stuff for cards, sports cards, Pokemon, Digimon, all that kind of stuff. And Saturday he's going to be doing a giveaway. So what you need to do is everybody needs to go and download Drip. Go to Sleeping has a video, or it's in the comment. It's in the community tab, and he has a link set up to him, so he'll get the credit for you guys signing on. Go sign on and take a look. It's an interesting site. I'm not sure how it functions, so I need to look and see what it is. I know I get a lot of text messages. I'm going to probably have to mute that. So go and check it out. It's a cool thing. Yeah, clones are cool and all, but you know, who cares? It's just another stormtrooper. Well, that too. You know, they could look at how, I don't know, this is a double-edged sword, because look how many sets of Marvel Legends figures there are out at the moment. And you know, the Eternals ones just got marked down to as cheap as $5. And so, you know, they're kind of taking a loss on those, but you're always going to, because of the type of movie it was, and there were too many characters. But I really think you could probably do a set of 6 Black Series figures, if not every month, every other month. And you don't need to focus on one thing. Like at the moment, they seem to be making strides to make everybody who wants the first 96 done happy. Well, who cares? You get around to it eventually. You know, Big Fortuna's out, and now everybody's complaining that he comes with cups and stuff. And well, you know, it's nice to have some accessories better than none. I mean, he didn't actually use a gun or anything in the movie, so you know, I get that people are mad that he has a hard cape instead of, you know, soft goods. But you could do a set of 6 and then make a case of 8 and just go through. Now, for something like Lando, something like Boss Nass, something like that you might not think you're going to sell a lot of, just make it one to a case. We'll all bitch and complain that it's one to a case, but the figure will be out there. So that's, you know, that's good. Hey, John Joker. Good to see you, man. I miss your live streams. I miss a lot of people's live streams, not just because some people aren't doing them anymore, but because my work is now, I can't even talk about it. It's nuts. Don't worry about it, sleeping. I'll be there Saturday, I think. I don't know if I work late or if I'm at home. If I'm at home, I'll be on. They've started blocking more and more things at work, so cool. Draws off. Yeah. Oh yeah, today is Friday, isn't it? Yeah. I'll look and see. But just as a side note, is there a video somewhere that can tell me exactly what this thing is? Is it a substitute for eBay? And if so, I'm all for that. But like, how does it work? Do we bid? Do we buy? That kind of stuff. Is there just a small tutorial video that they have out somewhere? And if not, I would suggest they get one, just to show how it works and you know, that kind of thing. Wow. I'm 40 away from 1,600. And I've had a couple videos do really well recently, but I'm going to put out some more collector content and stuff and just keep throwing stuff up. And I really do appreciate all you guys who do stop by. Marvel Legends has 148 figures. That can't possibly be right. There were 85 Black Series figures in 2021, and I got 6. Wow, that's crazy that there was that many. Wow. Anytime, man. 6-inch Jar Jars, HMV, quite a few Star Wars on the old Star cards. Yeah. Very boring. First of all, hey, how you doing? No, I wanted to, but then I could never find any. Now I may pick up 2 that came out recently, Barbecue and the Cobra Bat. I do have a Snake Eyes and a Cobra Commander and Roadblock. And I wanted a Zartan, but then I never got one, and then they didn't do the color change face, so I didn't care anymore. So randomly, I probably will buy them, but I have not bought a ton of them yet. Yeah, it sounds like it. So I want to make sure I'm over there supporting Papa Board. He's got a lot of stuff going on too. Yeah, see, you can see just over my shoulder, literally over here, I've started picking up a few myself, and they're only going to be classics. I don't care about anything from like The Rock forward. I might get a Stone Cold, but I highly doubt it. That's nuts. Man. Well, I would say he's probably doing it because at least those you can find. You know, those are relatively easy to find, the WWE stuff, and even AEW for the moment. But, you know, yep, that's why I got it. You know, I picked up this Jake the Snake, and I was going to get him anyway, but then I saw both of them and had to text Sleeping and say, hey, which one do I get? Because it's $20 a piece now or more. I can't afford to get both. So, Big Daddy Kane. It will always be WWF to me. Yeah, and that's exactly why I branched off into Playmobil and things like that, because I can't find Star Wars anymore. And if they don't want to sell me Star Wars, then that's fine. I'm not pre-ordering anymore. That whole fiasco with the Boba Fett being a Target exclusive, and there's going to be $26, and it was only $20. Why is it $20 when the rest of the vintage collection figures are only $13? You know, that's just, you know, I don't know about that. I've looked at a lot of figures and I'm like, who is this? And then I realize it's just somebody from, you know, new WWE stuff I don't like. Yeah, I'll support the WWF stuff. I really wish they could have made some sort of deal with the World Wildlife Federation to use their old logo. But I mean, they do keep it up. They try and do sort of the old logo on it, which is nice. But you know, make a huge donation to the place. I mean, were any of us really confused about the World Wildlife Federation and the World Wrestling Federation? No. Just, you know, and to finish all my thoughts on it, it was an okay episode for a Mandalorian episode. I liked it, but it was not a good Book of Boba Fett episode because it didn't have anything to do with that show. It didn't move the story forward at all. It didn't give us any insight into what's going on. All it really did was set up Book of Boba Fett Season 3, possibly. And even that I'm not sure about, because now everybody's like, oh, it's Bo-Katan versus the Armorer. Who the fuck is the Armorer? You know, we don't even know if she's from any kind of house or anything. We know who Bo-Katan is and her history. Now, will people follow her after what happened? We don't know. You know, So we'll see. Nice. Yeah, and like I said, I'll catch that some year. I don't have HBO Max, and I don't care about the DCU enough to watch it. I still haven't watched Suicide Squad 2 yet. I can't get into DC. Hell, I haven't seen the last 2 Spider-Man movies, or the Black Widow movie, or Eternals. I never finished the Captain America show. I did finish Hawkeye. Didn't finish What If. I've kind of gotten burned out on superhero stuff, But yeah, I don't think they did. PlayStation. Well, Death Watch was never going to be, impressed. And of course, Boba Fett knows who she is. And I still think that's because of dealings they had during Rebels and Bad Batch. So it will be interesting to see. I know. And I keep meaning to go, but honestly, I don't feel good. Mentally, I'm not in a very good place. And physically, my back hurts so much that I'm now walking with my cane again. I desperately need to lose weight, and I'm working on it. But it's really hard to lose weight when you can't really exercise very much. So in work, I have somebody at work who is literally making it unbearable to be there every day. And I can't get away from them because they sit in my office. So it's just mentally, I just can't seem to get around to doing much of anything. It's, and that's none of you guys' thing. But that's why Book of Boba Fett is fun, because I like watching it. And this week I watched it, and I was like, well, what the hell was this? Yeah, they were, and of course, we know that Death Watch is going to come up again in the Cassian series, more than likely. And of course, Mando was rescued by Death Watch, so we already know that. And maybe the armor is part of Death Watch, but you don't see it on her. But Steiner, I haven't thought of him in years. Yeah, it's neither here nor there. I go through these every so often, and with my dad being sick and stuff, mortality and things have really come into light, and stuff like that. It's weird. Hey, I'm up for it. I just got a haircut. If you'd have told me a few days ago, I wouldn't have cut my hair. Jeez. Yeah, I want to do that. I do want to do that. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, John. I'm going to work, I'm doing my job, and I'm coming home immediately. Unfortunately, this week I have 3 days that start at 2 a.m., another 60-hour work week, because my boss let a couple people go on vacation simultaneously. And then we had somebody else quit. It's exactly, and I'm like that way with new movies. If I do not go see it opening day or opening weekend, I generally don't get to it. I still haven't seen the new James Bond. I haven't seen, Free Guy. I mean, there's a whole bunch on Disney Plus. I can't even be bothered to click on them. I'm gonna watch Free Guy today. I could use a good laugh. I'll do that, Geek Strong. I'm at work on Sundays, so I'll catch it on. Usually it's up against Salacious's Lego build sometimes, And so I think I start there and I forget. Oh, it's all you can do. I mean, my dad's back in the hospital, this time in Wichita, and he had to wait 2 days to get an MRI because their MRI guys are down with COVID. They couldn't find anybody to it. It's fucking stupid. Of course, he's the man. It's right in his name. He is the Spider-Man. And I could use a little bit of fun. I've been watching a whole bunch of different stuff. But I think Free Guy is something I want to watch. I've been told that Enchanto is really good, that I need to watch that. But the boringness of how did that go? Somebody said that Eternals is just boring. Man. Roger Moore was fun. And I did actually I really liked Casino Royale and I really liked Skyfall. But I didn't like the other one, and I'll catch this one at some point because I've seen every Bond movie and I will continue. So, getting back to work, hope everything gets better. Thank you, man. I'll see you later. Later, Joey. Thanks for dropping by. So, I'll probably wrap up here so I got to go out and shovel some snow, some stuff going on. So, overall, Boba Fett, episode 5. Good episode for a Mandalorian episode, bad episode for a Boba Fett episode. Really looking forward to this next episode. With only 2 episodes left, I just feel like they're leaving too much for the end. Unless this is not a one series thing and they're going to jump into a second series, which is this ends in some sort of stupid cliffhanger like Loki, I will be very, very upset. I want some closure. If you want to do a second season, that's fine. If you want to make a little bit of a cliffhanger, that's fine. But I don't want to go into season 2 at the end of season 1 and he's now got all his people together. Again, IG-88, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, the Emperor, everybody's there to help. And then they're like, next season. No. Yeah, that part of it was true too. And I have no problem with anything with that which must not be named. But a couple of people I wanted to go with would freak out every time we made arrangements because they are. So then that didn't help. Next episode, maybe? I don't know. I mean, is it just going to run around and kill Pike? I mean, I don't know. I just feel that they've left too much. Thrawn can't come in. Thrawn definitely won't. Ezra, I might give you Ezra, but why would Ezra be on Tatooine? Thrawn has no reason to go there. Thrawn doesn't even know any of this is going on, so there's no point for him to even be in it. Ezra, unless Boba Fett knows Ezra from the Bad Batch or from Rebels, I guess. But I don't think so. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. I told you this would kind of be short. I got another video I'm putting together, and then I'm going to go thrift store hunting tomorrow for a few. We'll see. Hey, Left Coast, what's up? It will be interesting to see because I don't think we've ever been told in new canon exactly what he did after Return of the Jedi and after the Fall of the Empire. We know that he is not First Order, so we assume that he's Remnant, and maybe he'd get the Remnant together, because there are battles between the Republic, the Remnant, and the First Order. So we'll see. So anyway, thanks again, guys. I might make this an every Friday thing, every Friday morning, about 8 o'clock once I get up and around and get everything going. Once again, speaking of Left Coast graphics, great pins, great shirts, great everything. Go over to his shop and check it out. And don't forget that Sleeping's got his thing for. I'm sorry, Sleeping. I cannot remember that name for the life of me. Drip. I don't know why, because it doesn't have anything to do with cards. Drip. So go check that out on his community page. Sign up. Stop by Saturday. He's got like $500 to spend in the store for people. So let's go over there and get some stuff and help Sleeping. He's a good guy. People are giving him shit for getting, sponsors and stuff. I will tell you right now, and I don't say this very often. If you're coming down on Sleeping because he's doing well, because he has 4,000 subscribers, because he has sponsors and stuff, fuck you. If you can't be happy for him, then you weren't a friend to start with. It may not make me very popular to say this, but Sleeping's done a lot for all of us, and we've helped Sleeping. He's a great guy. Why wouldn't you want to see good people? There are other people who have 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers that are complete assholes. We have somebody we like, a good person, and people are going against him and talking shit. So stop it. All right, guys, enough of the negativity. Love you all. Till then, catch you on the flip side.